I'm Xenia from Total Prepare, and today we'll be talking about how long you can survive without life's basic necessities. You might be familiar with the old adage that you can live for 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food, but we're actually going to look at that a little harder today because some of those are pretty inaccurate. So let's start with food. In general, if you're healthy, you can actually live up to 2 months without food as long as you're having regular water intake. Now that'll vary a lot depending on how much fat and muscle you have to start with, because once you've stopped eating food, your body will eat that instead. So for senior citizens, children, people without a lot of fat on their bodies, generally speaking, they can't go quite as long, and likewise, people with more meat on their bones, their body has more to eat before it eats their organs and the more vital parts of themselves. So they can actually go a lot longer. Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. You can actually go from 8 to 21 days without water before your body shuts down. In general, what happens when you stop drinking water is your kidneys don't have the fluid they need to process waste, and that waste winds up leaching back into your body and causing organ failure and unpleasant things like that. Air is, of course, our most vital necessity. We all breathe it all day, every day. So how long can you go without that? Honestly, the 3 minutes without air is pretty accurate. In general, people will fall unconscious after 1 to 2 minutes without air, and then serious brain damage will start to occur between 3 and 6 minutes after you stop breathing. Once 15 minutes has passed, you're probably not coming back, unfortunately. So some exceptions have been noted. You can train yourself to be able to go longer without air by lowering your vital functions, your heart rate, things like that. And if you fall into, say, an icy river, an icy lake, the cold temperatures can have the same effect and lower things like heart rate, meaning that you actually need less air. So we've talked about how important it is to put food and water in your system, but how important is it to flush it out and answer nature's call? Turns out you can die if you don't do that regularly enough, but happily you have probably at least 5 weeks before you're in danger of death. The toxins will collect up in your system, leach into your bloodstream, and start affecting organs and all kinds of things and cause a lot of serious health problems. So please, if you haven't answered nature's call in a couple of weeks, see a doctor because it can get pretty serious. So obviously everything we've talked about today is very unpleasant. So how do you make sure it doesn't come to pass for you and your loved ones? In general, being prepared is a great start. Making sure you have enough food, water, and ways to deal with human waste on hand to stay self-sufficient for at least a week, preferably more, but a week's a really solid start. This can be anything from freeze-dried food to canned goods that you rotate regularly to military rations, flameless meal heaters, etc. Make sure you have a way to cook it and something to eat it with if it's food. For water, you can store water, you can keep filtration on hand as long as you have a fresh water source that you can actually filter, or purification. If you choose purification, please make sure that your purification tablets stay up to date, as those do have a shelf life, and your water will actually need flushing out depending on the product, up to 5 years. As far as sanitation is concerned, make sure to have hand sanitizer, toilet paper, a shovel, garbage bags, or you can go with a complete toilet set from totalprepare.ca, which has everything you need in one, including a nice familiar toilet seat that you can take outside when you're sheltering in place or use when your plumbing isn't quite where it needs to be. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Xenia, and please don't forget to visit our blog at totalprepare.ca/blog to read more about the things you can't survive without and what happens when you don't have them. Don't forget, be prepared, not scared.